watching Suddenly Ducks. I'm Bermuda,
And I'm Phil.
and we're about to play Dark Heresy. And as usual, Warren has all the details.
Over to you.
All right. Where you guys left off, I think it was like 2 weeks ago now, or a week ago before. Oh yeah, 2 weeks ago. You had just found this man whom you were sent to look for, Colonel Demetris. You can see him on the screen there now. You found him and his embattled regiment on the Eastern Front against the traitor noble houses of Tadia Primaris, who are currently in revolt against the Imperium. You were told to recover this man because he has, first-hand information about the location of the psyker, or the rogue psyker you're looking for, named Carrick, which is this man here. You briefly talked to Colonel Demetris, and he did indeed confirm that a man that matches the description of Carrick has been seen on the world and aided the traitor forces in repelling his regiment a few weeks ago. Since then, he hasn't been seen, but you've been told by Colonel Demetris that he wreaked pretty bloody havoc on the battlefield and killed a great number of Imperial Guardsmen when they were assaulting the city, which they're currently sort of entrenched around with several other Imperial Guard regiments. Things sort of didn't pan out the way you wanted them, though, as Colonel Demetris refused to leave his men because recently a sort of minor orc infestation has broken out on the planet, and it's become basically a three-way war between the Imperium, the rebels, and the orcs, all of which are, more or less fighting in the region you are now. So it's become very complicated, to say the least. So he won't abandon his men because they need his leadership to get through this. So he, you stayed there for a while and managed to hold the line against an orc assault in which a great many Imperial Guardsmen and orcs died, but you managed to barely hold the trench. Some of you getting semi-seriously injured when a orc truck blew up on you, among other things, but you did in fact manage to hold the line, as it were. This was it here, if you guys remember. After that, basically after the battle and the wounded that were being tended to and the dead were, counted and buried, the regiment here, which was pretty battle worn and had lost a great deal of men, Colonel Demetris's, men called for reinforcement. A different company of the regiment came to reinforce this quarter of the trench, and he and his surviving men here are moving back to the command bunker, the command center he set up for his company of the regiment, which is located in a very old cathedral to the God Emperor, not too far from here, maybe 2 kilometers to the north. It's in a small town that was destroyed in the war against the rebels, but the building itself was mostly untouched because both sides were not willing to damage a cathedral to the God Emperor, even though the rebels are technically rebelling against the Imperium. They still see the God Emperor as the god of mankind, and they weren't willing to incur his wrath. So the building is relatively intact. It's quite old and ruined anyway, and it wasn't in use before, but it's still relatively the only structure of large size that hasn't really been hit by large scale bombardment. Because of the reverence everybody has for the Emperor, nobody wanted to destroy it. So he and the bloodied company that he was personally commanding on this particular line of the trench are withdrawn. You guys go with him, and you head back to the Imperial Command Center for this regiment, which he commands. So you get to the church, which no one really recalls the name of, but colloquial myths call it the Church of His Word, or the Cathedral of His Word. Whether or not that's the actual name, no one really knows, as the High Gothic name has been lost to time. It's more or less a ruin for the most part. Like, the structure still stands, it hasn't been destroyed by war or anything, it's just fallen into disrepair and things like that. However, the magnificent stained glass windows depicting the Emperor and his various primarchs are still quite intact, which shows, that nobody wanted to damage the building too significantly in any way. So, when you get there, Colonel Demetris and his men just sort of fan out. A great many of them go to the Medicaid tents, others go to rearm and resupply, others just simply shrink to whatever campfire they can get to, and just sit there, long-faced, staring off with a 1,000-yard stare, as they've seen more than enough share of their bloodshed. Demetris just sort of looks around forlornly, shakes his head, and starts walking off as various corporals, sergeants, commissioned captains, and other people come and approach him for orders and other supplies. And he just sort of looks to you and indicates that you should follow him. So after a few moments, he gets to this very large tent at the very back of the cathedral and has a brief conversation with the sergeant, which the sergeant nods and the men pass to let you guys enter. And he enters into the command tent. So the command tent is basically a command and control center. It's got various Voxcasters, other tactical displays and arrays, to coordinate the very large amount of Imperial Guardsmen, which number in the tens of thousands all along the battle line that the Colonel controls. And there are various communications officers, all being overshadowed by an Imperial Guard sergeant in charge of communication, or a Vox Hailer, as he's called. So when you guys get here, Colonel Demetris just sort of wanders off and starts talking to his command staff. You guys have free run of the camp. If you want to make, some of you are quite injured, so if you guys want to make Medicaid tests on yourselves, or you could just report to the actual Medicaid officers who might actually be better at it than you, and get some stuff. You could also try and scrounge some things up from the quartermasters if you guys need ammo or want to try and buy something. Though, the Imperial Guard are well armed with a great array of weapons. They don't have very specialized weapons, or at least they may not be willing to part with them. So if you guys want to buy anything or do anything, now would be the time.
Has it been? Is it 6 hours cooldown for healer per person?
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been 6 hours, has it?
It took you maybe, let me see, maybe the better part of 45 minutes to get back to this base camp behind the lines. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe we should go and see the healers.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to medicate again, because I think I medicated myself and Mira.
Yeah, probably.
Do me. Might have healed myself off.
So, so Ficus and Mira will report to the Medicaid, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so you guys get to the Medicaid tent and you get, your wounds looked at. So that will take some hours. So you guys will be absent from any conversations that happen there. The other four of you, Colonel Demetris is very sort of entwined with talking to his command staff and trying to get through the Voxcaster. And he seems very agitated, and every now and then you can hear swearing from him and a great number of the other men as they count battle reports and things like that. So what do you guys want to do? He's not really paying attention to you.
Pull his trousers down? No, I'm kidding.
Is there any way to charge up charge packs here?
Yeah, there is a number of generators that mobile janitorium as they call them, that they brought with them for exactly that purpose. You may need to pay the quartermaster to let you use it though, unless you can convince him to give it to you for free or something.
I'll pay for it.
Alright, so for the cost of a regular charge pack, he'll let you charge as many as you want.
Okay.
Okay.
5 rung out.
Is it literally 5?
Very cheap.
We are currently waiting for the interrogator, right?
The interrogator told you, if you remember correctly, to bring him back to a safe location, which is either the capital of Verthan or Verthan, sorry, which is far to the west, or to try and get him back to the ship, the Light of Alantaris. But he will be in Verthan right now because he's talking to the Queen, if you remember, or at least he requested an audience with the Queen, this woman here, if you
Yeah.
remember correctly. Yeah. So the interrogator Tyrus is currently in Verthand, and he's at the palace, which is called what's the palace called? Heaven's Throne. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think we agreed that we will take him there last session. Like, to take him to the capital, that is.
yeah. But right now he seems to be continually just sort of blowing you off right now and ignoring everything you have to say. If you know what I mean. He seems like intent on keeping, staying here with his men. He's content to let you follow him around and give you hospitality or whatever, but he seems to be ignoring you. So
I guess I say, Captain, is there perhaps a Valkyrie position nearby, or able to come exfiltrate us? Is that the term?
oh, so you just talked to a random captain or the colonel?
No, the colonel.
Okay. Well, as you approach the colonel to begin talking to him, he's talking with at least 3 or 4 different captains, several non-commissioned officers, and other things, and they're discussing. Well, they're looking at a map on top of a table. You can clearly see it's like a map, a crudely drawn map of the battle lines over what is a very old sort of map of the actual plains around the large city that they were sieging beforehand. You can see they're marking various points of ingress where orcs are attacking in mass, various points where the traders are artillery bombing them from the city, and they're likewise marking their own basilisk formations where their heavy artillery is trying to suppress the advances and things like that. As you approach, one of the captains is reading off a list, and you can tell when you approach that it is, in fact, a list of the wounded and the casualty reports, and basically they seem to be listing off regiments and companies, and one by one, they give the casualty reports: 238 men dead here, 568 men dead there. 3rd Company, 5th Regiment has been almost completely wiped out to a man. Colonel Demetris commands that company is, decommissioned and merged with the 5th to try and bolster back up the numbers and things like that. And then at the end, he just sort of looks at the sergeant, looks at the captain and says, "Enough of this bluster, just give it to me straight. How many men did we lose in the last 24 hours? And then the man just sort of looks at him square and says, "All total headcount, sir, somewhere in the region of 8,000 men." And the colonel just sort of sighs and goes, "Damn it all." And then, just sort of looks at him sternly and says, and then looks back to you and then just sort of waves the man off and says, "You know what to do, Captain." The captain just sort of salutes and then walks out the door. Then the colonel looks at you, Zarkov, and anyone else that's in the tent, and he goes, Acolytes, thank you for your help back there. What can I do for you?
Is there any Valkyries nearby, or that you can arrange to come pick us up? We would need to go see our interrogator now.
He just sort of sighs and says, "Well, therein lies the issue, I'm afraid. I've just been informed by my Vox announcers here, or Vox lauders. The good sergeant here has informed me that it seems that communications is becoming exceedingly difficult, which indicates that, well, according to all the signs indicate, or at least from what he understands of the machine spirits, that some sort of dampening field of some kind has been layered on the area. So either the blasted orcs or the traders are laying some sort of suppression field. Vox communications are becoming almost impossible. I can't get through to command. I can't request reinforcements. I'm sending runners to tell the damn orders to my men."
Runners, you say?
I'd like to make a scrutiny to see if
Yeah,
he's
go
lying.
for it. Alright, so you can tell he is not lying. He's being quite serious.
Whereabouts is this suppression field being, where's its origin? Can you tell?
He just shakes his head. "I have my men on it now, but it seems impossible to tell. Either they're incompetent," and he just sort of looks back at the sergeant who pretends he didn't hear it, and looks back at you, or the suppression field is such high bandwidth that it's impossible to get a focus on it at all. It could either be the orcs or it could be the damn traders. I have no way of knowing. But I will tell you this: I have decided to go with you. Not because your interrogator or inquisitor or whatever damn organization wants to speak to me about some nonsense about a psyker. I need to go because I need to get reinforcements for my men. You heard the numbers: 8,000 men in a day. We won't last a fortnight if those numbers keep continuing. We need reinforcements and we need heavy air support. And because we can't coordinate with the fleet, we have no way of getting it. My men are likely to run out of ammunition before they run out of lives, and I don't really relish the thought of dying in a trench hand to hand with an orc. So myself and a brigade of my best men are going to push out with you and head west. We're going to have to make for Verthan. If we don't get there and get the resupplies, everybody here is going to die. So rest and resupply. We're going to break camp in 48 hours with my men, and we're going to head through the canyon passes. And for the record, I'm taking you. I'm only taking my best men and you because this is very likely a suicide mission. Those canyons are a death trap. They're far behind the lines of us, the orcs, and the traders. But nobody goes through those canyons because, well, let's put it this way: they're the hottest place on the planet. And on top of that, there's rumors that some foul Xenos creatures of some kind make their nests there. So if we manage to break through, Emperor willing, we'll save everybody here, but it's very likely nobody will hear of us again.
How many days march will it be if we get through the canyons alive?
Week, maybe 2.
Would it be easier to find the suppression field by scouting out and disabling that? Would that take less time?
He shakes his head, and he says we have no idea where it is. This area is, nearly 1,000 kilometers by 1,000 kilometers. If we were to search for it, it could take months, and we have no idea which side it is. And if you haven't noticed, there's a fully armed city with massive artillery blocking us, and to the south there's an entire wag of orcs. I don't think we have another option but to head back.
Do you have any astropaths in by any chance?
He nods and says, yeah, we do, but the astropaths that are in the trader camp seem to be causing disruptions in the warp. Or at least that's what our astropaths claim. There's something strange going on here, and I'm not quite sure what.
Looks like we're marching through canyons, and then I just look towards, Victus. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I see no other choice. Or we go through the canyons, or we find a way to disable that device.
If you're volunteering to scout for the device, be it on your own heads, but I'm telling you right now, tactically, I've been in more than my fair share of campaigns trying to breach enemy lines to get something like that that's likely to be very defended is tantamount to suicide. So either way, it's going to be a suicide mission. It's your choice which one you want to take. But I'm leading my men out of here in 48 hours with or without you to make for Verthan.
Let's go with him. We have to get him there anyway.
We'll go with him. It would be better because we can protect him while we are with him.
Fine. Will we all be fully healed up in 48 hours?
Probably not, unless you do extensive Medicaid healings. Let me just look up healing normally in Dark Heresy. I think you. Let me just check real quick what the rules are.
If I can healer on them.
Yeah, I know you can do healer. I'm just curious about what you get normally. Okay, so the people who are really hurt, like Ficus and Mira, what's your toughness?
2 seconds. Just the bonus or the full toughness?
The bonus.
4.
Okay, so you're considered lightly wounded if you've taken up to 8 damage. Phil, what's your toughness?
My toughness is not amazing. It's all right though. 40.
Okay, yeah, so you're considered lightly wounded if you've taken up to 8 wounds as well. So you've
Okay.
taken, well, 10, so you're, I think you're heavily wounded. Yeah, you're heavily wounded. And Mira has taken, yeah, is also heavily wounded. Okay, so without medical attention, you remove 1 damage per week through natural healing. If you spend the entire week resting, you remove an amount of damage equal to your toughness bonus. Alright, so medical attention. Yeah, you're gonna have to make some Medicaid tests. Very likely.
I am.
Well, extended care tests.
How do I do one of those?
Well, they can do it, or you can get the Medicaid guys to do it, like the actual Medicaid officers.
People specialised in it should do it.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
the
I
game.
have Medicaid and I have it like ticked, so I'm using 44 intelligence on my rolls.
Okay, well, I can't tell you what the Medicaid skill of the
Yeah.
medics are, but I mean, it's up to you whether or not you want to use them or not.
Would I be able to see how well they are, like do like a scrutiny test of how well they start on healing Mira?
You can do an evaluate test. If anyone has
Yeah.
evaluate, you can evaluate how good like Medicaid is there.
I've got 22 in my roll for evaluate. It's not trained.
Anyone else got anything better?
I can evaluate them, but I don't know how I would. Like pop quiz, maybe.
Well, someone could describe to you what they're doing.
Yeah. Alright, I'll roll it. It's not good. It's 19, but fuck it.
Well, I mean, someone who's good at it should probably do it.
Yeah. Is anyone better than 22 on evaluate?
No.
Nope.
Bermuda?
What?
Are you better than 22 on evaluate?
Ooh, let me see. I don't
Basic
think
skills on the left.
I could try and assist if you want.
No, I'm 17. Evaluate.
Right then. Do you want to try and assist me by like?
Yeah, I'll try.
So wait, so you roll first and then I roll.
Yep.
Nope, that's horrendous. And let's see how badly I evaluate people as well. Would I have any modifiers to my roll because, like, I know Medicaid, so I
Yeah,
kind of...
I'll give you a +10 when you know something. That's generally how it goes. When you know a compound skill of what you're evaluating.
cut holes.
You actually bump it over with a fate point because you have fate points back. Remember, everybody
yeah.
should be back on full fate points.
How many fate points did I start with?
3 or 2.
2. Yeah, screw it. I'll bump it over.
Okay. You can tell they are more competent at Medicaid than you.
Okay, right. Well then, I'll let them do it.
Okay. They will make the test then.
I would get 1 back through natural healing, right?
Yes. If you're lightly wounded, you get 1 back per day. Yeah.
Yeah, alright, cool.
Okay. Yeah. So they very much take care of you. Let me see. Okay, so they healed you for 4.3 degrees of success, so that makes that 5, so you get 1 naturally. So they heal Ficus and Mira for 6 wounds each with an extended test. Okay, and then Zarkov, you can cast heal on them again if you want to. If you want to, risk it.
I only need 3 health. I mean, 3 health could be the difference between life and death, but
I'm missing 5.
do you want to try Mirror? Do you not want to try
back,
at all, Ollie?
Sorry, I had to take a piss. I will heal people, yes.
We're saying it could be dangerous, but do you want if you want to try it?
Yes, of course. I'll just do 1 die. This will 1 be for Mirror.
Okay, I'm gonna move. Can you do it from range, or does he have to be touching us?
10 meters. I don't think like, this is like...
Remember we in the mid.
Yeah, they're in the Medicaid place, so remember, like, you guys are spending 48 hours here, so I mean, like, you can just be wherever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I think at one point I will be within 10 meters of you.
Yeah, let's imagine I'm at the furthest range of 10 meters of him, and this happens.
Alright,
Okay.
You ready? Well, 30 meters is like my tend to be like shit goes down. So,
Yeah, I'm also facing away from him while this happens.
that goes off, so you get 1d5. 5.
That makes me full health.
And then 1 for focus.
I'll accept it, yes.
That does not go off, actually.
Buttholes.
Alright, so that's the result
Is it
then.
once per 6 hours?
Yeah, he can
Oh,
cast
yeah.
it
Yeah, I'll
again
try
if he
again.
wants to.
And that does go off.
Okay, 1d5.
Only need 3, come on. Yeah! Full health, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The reason you bring me around.
Okay, so 48 hours go by. You see thousands of Imperial Guardsmen file in and file out. Every time the ones that file in, you see, maimed people, you see blood, you hear the screamings of anguish as people are carried in on stretchers, very likely to die in the night. And it's clear that, the orcs are pounding, the Imperial Guard pretty much relentlessly. The traders themselves seem to be bombing them, every night and day. You hear, like, the not so far away pummel of very large artillery fire, pummeling the front lines less than a few kilometers away. And it's very hard to get any sleep or anything. So is anyone sure they don't want to try and buy anything before you guys leave
No money.
from the Imperial Guard?
I
Because remember, you did actually get money on the way here. Remember, so
Yeah.
unless you've already spent it.
Do they have more? What were the bullets? Man-stopper bullets?
No, that's a bit too specialized. They would have it, but the only ones that have it are the Imperial Guard snipers, and they're mostly scouts, and they're few in numbers, like less than maybe one squad per company, if you know what I mean. So they do have it, but it will be expensive, and you'll have to make like an acquisition test to find it, if you know what I mean.
Nah, never mind. I still have lots of clips. There was another item, but I forgot its name. I think it was a med kit or a specialized med kit thing that would help our
Yeah.
tech priest on Medicase.
I think I saw that somewhere. I can't remember. Where would I be able to find one of those? In the armory? Under, like...
It's probably in the Macarian or
Yeah.
Tales of the Trade or something.
Oh. I'll have a look there.
I'm looking for it.
So, there's plenty of other things you could do. Like, if you guys are going to follow Colonel Demetris, he's taking you through. Well, they call the canyons you're going through, Death's Maze. It's basically along one of the larger mountain ranges of this world. It's in the middle of kind of like it's not really a desert, but it's a barren sort of cracked area of land that gets very, very hot, sort of on the tropical area of the planet. Very few natural creatures live there, and almost no one goes there because there's tons of rumors about some, as I said, alien creature in there. Nobody exactly knows what it is, but there's been unexplained deaths and disappearances for like centuries or millennia even around that area of the planet. And the Imperial Guard and the traders, avoided it completely, and the battle lines never went anywhere near it. The reason Demetris is risking it is because it's very unlikely you'll encounter any orcs or traders if you go that way, and it's the fastest route through the mountain range rather than like skirting a month around it, if you know what I mean.
Warren, would I be able to try and find some smoke grenades? I hear they are availability scarce. Blank grenades.
Okay, let me just see. They're normally scarce, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Since they're normally scarce, that makes the test here difficult. So, -10.
Is someone
availability.
going to be better at this finding them than me?
George.
Could you have a look for me, George?
Yep.
It's Inquirer, right?
Yeah.
Could I help with this? Because I have a 42 in it.
Yeah, you can assist someone, sure.
No, I don't help.
Any modifiers?
-10. Because it's difficult.
So it's even worse then.
No, you didn't make it worse, it's just, it was always -10.
Oh.
You just didn't help.
Yes.
I can hinder
so-
him.
I barely make it.
George, through his skills, barely manages to scrounge up what you're looking for.
So it's 25 Fern Gelt each. I'm going to buy 4.
Okay. Alright, anyone else want to buy anything?
Still don't have any money, so can't.
If you wanted to buy something, I might give you money.
Yeah, he's very rich. Very, very rich.
Noble
Can't really
cleric.
get it. It's first next time I get XP, I think. I need a flamer for that.
Need a flamer.
Well, yeah. I'm going
Flamers are
into the
good,
tree
man.
where I can get a flamer.
Oh, so you want it now, but for later?
Yeah, whenever I get 200 more XP, I can use the flamer.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
Warren,
Yeah.
you know when you're untrained in a weapon, you get like a minus test on the
Yeah.
this skill. How does that work with a flamer?
They get an increase to their dodge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You could still use the flamer, but it wouldn't just be as proficient.
Yeah.
And if you angled it right, they might not even be able to dodge outside of it. Correct, right? Am I right in thinking that, or?
Yeah. Because they need to be able to move at least their half move to dodge, but remember the angle of a flamer is only like
45.
45 degrees, yeah, so it's not like massive.
Could I buy a melee attachment? For a Hellgun?
Yep, of course.
Yeah, we'll do that.
What weapon are you going to touch?
The Hellgun.
Yeah, but what melee attachment? Because there's a bunch of them. You can attach like a...
I thought there was only one.
No, you can attach like a combat knife or a chain knife or like a bunch of things to it, if you know what I mean.
Oh shit, I need to find this and...
I don't know if you'll be able to find a chain knife because that's pretty like...
Guess it's probably just a normal like bayonet.
Yeah,
guess.
like the Imperial Guard would just attach like actual just combat knives to it.
Yeah.
Like primitive quality combat knives.
Yeah, I'll have one of those then.
Okay. So it doesn't have mono on it, for the record. Unless you want to get the upgrade mono for it.
Hmm.
Because otherwise then it will have the primitive quality and it'll only do like that actual damage to primitive weapons. Basically, when primitive melee weapons attack non-primitive armor, the non-primitive armor doubles its armor bonus against it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Could I make it mono here as well?
Yeah, so long as you can pay for the mono upgrade, yeah.
I'm looking at the book. I don't know if this is like errated or something, but melee attachment 25 and mono 40.
Yep, that's for just a regular combat knife and mono in it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll buy that one.
Warren, is common items instant find on this planet, or?
Well, where you are, common items are ordinary, so they're +10.
+10?
Yeah.
Would George be able to do a test for me,
Yeah,
please?
I'll look all that stuff. I'm just making a small
Doing a list
compilation of
first.
items. Yeah.
Checking it twice. I have enough
Okay.
cash to buy that for myself.
This is all the stuff that I'm going to look for.
Okay.
I think for a trip like this, these items are useful.
Anything that is abundant is automatic. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me roll for the others. Where is Ingrid? Here. Okay. So common is
Common is +10. It's ordinary difficulty.
nope for the
compass.
the compass. Yeah.
Compass is the compass is scarce actually.
Is scarce.
Yeah. So scarce here is difficult, which means it's -10. If you want to try to get the compass.
Okay, never mind then. I didn't roll for the compass. I'll roll now.
Okay. Yep, you find the compass / orientator.
Huh.
And survival is average.
Okay, so average here is just average, as in flat. Yep, you find that.
Okay, so I get everything less the medkit. Nice. The thing I wanted the most. If anyone else has inquiry, I advise you to try for the medkit.
I could try for it.
Because it gives +20 for Medicaid tests.
Was it -10?
Yep.
No plus.
Oh no,
For
yeah,
common.
+10, it's common, yeah, correct.
+10.
Nice.
Yep.
So I'll pay for all that.
Oh, you're buying me a medkit. Is it so? It's a multiple use or like a single use thing?
I think it has 6 uses. Let me double check.
10, I think. A medkit typically has enough supplies to be used 10 times before it is needed.
Oh, you're looking on the
Macarian.
non-core. Yeah, the Macarian. Okay.
Yeah.
He used the Macarian because it's more up to date.
Because the Macarian on the normal medkits, it doesn't say anything about +20, but on the core it gives +20.
No, it says it on the Macarian. A medkit provides +20 to Medicaid tests made to administer first aid.
Damn it. Okay.
I need to roll for mine as well, I think. I'm at least mono, right? Because that's scarce, I think.
Yeah. If it's scarce, it's -10.
Melee attachment is plentiful.
Yeah, that means it's just automatic.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they have like literally mountains of combat knives.
So scarce is like -10 then?
Yeah.
Could I argue that I should have +10 because it's Imperial Guard and I used to be one?
Yeah, I will argue that you can do that because you know the ins and
Zero.
outs of how to
Nice.
find stuff. Yep, so you find the mono upgrade. Which is they literally just, dip it in dichromate paste, basically.
by the way, if you use a medkit and get 3 more successes, 3 or more successes, you only take half of the resources out of it.
So wait, how much times it use?
Technically 20, but you take 2 every time you use it. Unless you get 3 or more successes, then you only take 1.
Okay. So it's worth buying?
Is George just like the bank for everybody? Pay him back later.
I mean, I have enough to buy like 4 of these. Just wondering if people think it's worth buying.
Like
A medkit.
Yeah.
stuff that I already paid for the medkit. Stuff that I think it's good for the group in general, I'll pay for it. But stuff that's for the individual, I won't care much. Flamer. Okay. What's
It's for the group.
It's scarce.
That's -10, right?
Yeah.
The default is, I can't remember.
Uh,
You can bump it over if you want.
okay, I'll give you the flamer.
Okay, so you find a flamer. A spare one that they're willing to sell.
You want me to pay for it as well, or?
Yes, I'm completely broke.
Oh,
I have
okay.
0 money.
How much is it?
It's 300.
300. Okay. Bask in the generosity of the Emperor.
Victus now owns you all, you realize that.
He doesn't own me, man. I don't need anything.
Me neither.
Blind
Okay.
man don't need shit.
You have a flamer.
Yeah, I don't need your handouts.
Alright, all done.
Yep.
Okay, so after 48 hours of rest, recovery, eating whatever rations they can spare you, generally preparing for what's ahead, Demetris spends the last couple of hours, well, the last 24 hours before you guys depart, organizing his men, swapping over command to a captain who was the second in command and tells him to hold the line. He gives him advice on what he should do, gives him his tactical appraisal and his orders, and then he, grabs a man on the shoulder and swears that he'll do everything he can to bring back, more reinforcements and to let the Imperial Navy, know what's going on here and break through the, the Vox, blocking, and get them the men they need to survive here, and he won't abandon them, and that he's not abandoning them and he'll be back, that kind of thing. Alright, so when he's done, him and his honor guard, which straight up Boone, you can tell, is like quite a hardened group of Imperial Guardsmen, or at least they seem quite competent at what they're doing. They're probably one of the more battle-hardened group here. They're all Cadians, so they're all quite battle-hardened to begin with, but this group looks pretty tough, to say the least. So he gathers, maybe half dozen of his men, and he just sort of looks at you and says, well, if you're coming with us, it's now or never. Though, like I said, this is very likely a suicide mission in and of itself, so just the lesser of two evils. So it's up to you if you're going to follow me, but I have to do this. And he just sort of indicates to his men, sort of raises his hand above his head and says, move out, and starts walking. So you guys follow him, yes?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the better part of 3 days, you guys trudge through the muck and the rain and then blistering heat, and the march never stops. Demetris never lets you sleep. It's a pretty much a forced march. He lets you stop every maybe 6 hours for an hour or two's rest before he immediately gets everybody back on their feet again and then orders them to march. Your feet are blistered and bloody. And flies are following you everywhere. It's pretty horrific. So everybody make a toughness test for me.
If I can one, I would like to sustain the sense of presence as well whilst we're doing this march. That was
Sure.
intelligence. I would have failed anyway because of the roll.
Okay.
96. I'll roll for my sense of presence as well. Everyone roll toughness.
Yeah, everyone's rolling toughness.
Yeah. I mean, has everyone rolled it?
No.
Use the flamer to kill the flies.
And waste of fully fucking 1 ammo in it. It only has 3.
What?
Yes, it has a clip size of 3.
You neglect to buy ammo.
Did you make your toughness test yet, Ollie?
Really?
Yeah. It's intelligence, but I would have failed. Like I rolled 96.
Oh, okay. Right, so anyone who failed the toughness test or otherwise, you will gain a level of fatigue, okay?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Here's my sense of presence, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then that goes off. And then, if I can, I would like to do dual pain on whoever got a level of fatigue.
Okay, well, just a minute. We'll go to the next map.
Alright.
Oh god.
If roll 20 can stop screwing up for a minute.
I really like the stained glass window in the previous map. It's nice.
Hmm. Okay, so you guys are down there?
Can you pop fingers to it? Thank you.
I went
Okay.
for a pass like this once.
So, anyone who, like I said, failed? Who failed? Bermuda failed?
Hey, Bermuda and George, right? Yeah.
Bermuda, George, anyone else?
Hey.
You, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys all have one level of fatigue.
Yep.
I'm gonna roll the Imperial Guard to see if they have any levels of fatigue as well.
I shoot anyone that has fatigue, including me.
You shoot yourself first.
Alright, this guy's fatigued. This guy's fatigued, that guy's okay. That guy's fatigued. 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 Fatigued, and then everyone but this guy is okay. Alright, so it's a pretty grueling march. The Colonel sets a pretty much, insane pace to say the least. You're not really walking so much as at a light sprint the entire time. He clearly wants to make good speed, and you do indeed make good speed, as the man himself is more like a slave driver to his men. But all these men are fairly competent soldiers. As I said, they're like the cream of the men he had under his command, more of an honor guard. So they do it without grumbling, although like the strain is clear in their faces and among like several of you as well. After about 4 grueling days of this forged march/sprint with like literally no sleep, you get just after nightfall, you get into the canyons that Demetris was talking about, and he orders you all to halt and take a extended rest. Instead of the 2 hours he normally gives you, he decides he'll take 6, and he'll wait until the sun starts to rise again, because this part of the world, these canyons, the death canyons as they call them, are basically, they constantly fluctuate between really they fluctuate between really high temperatures and really cold temperatures, so it's starting to get quite freezing, in fact, where you are right now. So his men start to take, they just collapse essentially and start taking breathers as they lie down and whatever. He tells a number of them to go guard the canyon just ahead of you, and a few of them to guard behind you. So 2 Imperial Guard begrudgingly take first watch, while the rest of them start to pretty much lay in. A sniper sort of scrambles up a bit onto the cliff here and watches south. And the Colonel sort of starts talking with the sergeant who's in charge of this squad he took with him. And they see if they can light a fire.
Alright, if I can, and if people don't mind, I would start to remove fatigue from people. So I'll do myself first.
Sure.
Alright, I remove 1 level of fatigue. And then I'll do Victus. That's if he wants it. Any objections?
No.
So you lose 1 level of fatigue
Yeah.
on yourself, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Victus loses 1.
Yeah, Victus, you're no longer fatigued.
Flo, do you mind?
I'll take it.
And yeah, removed. And then
Okay.
then I guess I'll go to each individual guardsman if they don't mind.
They're a bit wary, to be honest, and they will, maybe you want to talk to their commander first, because he may take,
Actually, no, Imperial Guard.
I go up to them and say, look how the fatigue has gone from our fellow members.
You know
They're bright and ready now, and ready for a fight. Do you not wish to have the Emperor's blessings upon you?
This is the tech priest saying this, yes.
Yeah.
I do like, bask in the warmth of the Emperor's light, and I start to show how...
Dancing.
How invigorous I am again. With energy.
Jacking it furiously.
Sure, you can do it. The Colonel has no sort of complaints about you doing it. He's busy talking to his sergeant about, the march ahead. How to get through the canyons.
I'll do the 2 snipers, bomb one first.
Yeah, sure. All the Colonel and the Sergeant have are some brief sort of fudgy aerial surveillance pics of the canyons, and they're trying to make a map through it to get through it as quickly as possible, and it's clear they're having some difficulty.
Yeah, that one fails on the first sniper.
Okay. You're going left to right up, yeah?
Yeah, second sniper gets it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, because of course I'm the tech priest, I was going to say, because your flesh is weak, and...
you don't have to maintain this, right? It's just a...
No, I should have been doing this at a -4 since I had sense presence on. Fuck.
Yeah.
I guess I would have deactivated it, and then there's warp shenanigans.
Okay. Well, that goes off, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when I stop after warp shenanigans happens.
Alright, well, roll your shit then, see what happens. Here comes the demon host.
Not quite a demon host.
Yeah, why are we spamming psychic shit on these guys?
He's trying to get rid of their fatigue.
Yeah, to make them better.
Well, they might be dead.
Oh god, people are gonna hate me.
So what is it's
food and drink goes stale in the radius of 5d10 meters.
Oh, that's just wonderful.
Great, thanks for spoiling all the camping supplies.
You did it, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's food is gone. You
Is
have
that how much we
no
hate
rations.
him? 23.
No, you what, Phil? Sorry.
We hate him 23.
That's the first time anything like that has ever been really relevant. And yeah, you've seriously fucked everybody now.
Oh shit.
Because you have
we're all gonna start eating each other.
You had enough rations to get you to 2 weeks of marching, but now you have nothing.
I vote we eat the old man first.
He's not going to see us coming.
Alright, I don't do anything, I just quietly find a place somehow. Just I just crawl up into a ball.
Mira, throw him to the floor.
All I can say is, whenever we need to eat something, it's gonna be the old man first. I have the barbecue ready.
Is there any wildlife in this planet?
Yeah, there's tons of native species to this planet.
And Xenos too, I believe.
Well, there's tons of rumors about these canyons. No one really knows what the hell is in here, but there's rumors that some foul Xenos creature lurks these canyons. And that's why everybody avoids them. Well, that on top of the fact it's blisteringly hot during the day here.
Probably we should do some hunting, so we get food at least.
Wait, am I mistaken, but can you spend a fate point to ignore the effects of rolling on that table?
No.
Okay, fuck.
Can you spend a fate point to reroll on that table?
No. Cannot reroll on the psychic phenomena table without certain very particular thing. Okay, so all your food is ruined. Colonel Demetris is very pissed off at Zarkov. And is calling you, damnable witch, among other things. And he doesn't want to talk to you.
I don't mind.
Okay. So, other than that, he and his sergeant are now very painfully aware they need to get through this canyon as quickly as possible. and the maps they have with them are painfully inadequate, barely visible, like distorted images of the canyons. And like anyone who looks over the shoulder at them while they're trying to, plan through it, with a piece of charcoal trying to draw their way through it, it's clear that, it's almost a natural maze. You could spend, ages in here and never get through it. So, does anyone have navigation surface?
No, but I have the orientator or that item.
Yeah, if it helps with it, sure.
Navigation. Let me see.
Stella.
That's an advanced skill, right?
Yep, navigation surface.
Then I wouldn't have it, and I bought a useless item for me.
Well, you know where like the polar regions of this planet are, I guess. Alright, yeah, that's about it. So, he's drawing through the map, so if no one else has a better way of doing it, Colonel Demetris is semi-competent at it, so he'll do it himself.
I'll lend the compass if he needs
Yep,
it.
sure. How much does it add to it?
Plus 10. At GM discretion, it might grant other bonuses in certain situations as well.
Okay. So he thanks you for the orientator, sort of scratches his head, and he and his sergeant go back to scrambling through the, the sheets and everything else. Okay, so the rest of you, even though if you're not fatigued or whatever, you're still exhausted. So unless you like take the 6 hours sleep he's giving you, you will, be fatigued. But if you want to stay up the night and guard duty, because you don't trust the Imperial Guard he's put on guard duty, that's perfectly fine. So who wants to stay awake? Who wants to sleep? Who wants to do whatever? You guys could scout ahead alone if you wanted to. That's a possibility. It's totally up to you what you want to do.
Flo is sleeping.
I ask, where is Mira and Boone if they want to scout ahead.
I will say sure.
I guess I offer my services if they need, if they run into anything out there. I might be able to help with patching you up.
I'm just wondering because if we need food and we find like some zeros, we might get food for like 2 days or something. For the group at least, not Imperials.
Plus, I don't want to stay in the camp much. Or, I think I irked the Colonel.
I think I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to get on top of one of the rocks, just like the sniper, but maybe the opposite side of the canyon, or is this too high a scalable wall?
You can like crawl your way up and like stay on one of the outcroppings here or whatever.
Okay, I'll be here, and I'm like overwatching with my laser sniper rifle.
Okay. So if anyone's scouting ahead, feel free to start doing that. Okay, so these canyons like wind on, and it's quite late at night. You have a glow lamp, right?
And a glow stick.
Are you going to use them?
It's night, so I assume that we would be using it. Yes.
Okay. So feel free to keep walking on. You can do as you please. So the canyons are cracked, almost completely bare rock. They're clearly sunburnt through very intense heat, if you know what I mean. You see almost next to no vegetation at all. In fact, it seems like almost nothing is like able to grow here, essentially. It looks more like a barren sort of, death world than a vibrant, world humanity lives on.
There's no cactus that we can draw water from.
No, there's literally nothing. There's like not even grass or like, the dirt is like parched and almost solid and cracked. So
let me see if I have something to leave marks. Yeah, the survivor kit, I think it has something. Yeah, fishing hooks, 2 blade razors, pocket igniter, Yeah, with the survival kit, would you allow me to place marks on stone?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So when I report back, I say that I left marks on the places I scouted ahead, me and Mira.
Okay. Okay. Stop there, actually.
Yes.
Okay. Make an awareness test for me.
I'm going to reroll that.
Okay.
Nope, I think I do not want to see what's coming.
And I'm gonna try my reroll on this one.
All right.
Then. Come on, better. My God, worse.
Okay, so you guys continue walking for a little bit. Then you hear a sort of a deep rumbling for a moment.